Himalayan art resources is divided into three main subjects. It's divided into art history, iconography, and religious context. And this is because the subjects we're dealing with, the Himalayan art from a great number of actual regions, northern India, Ladakh, Nepal, Sikkim, Bhutan, Arunachal Pradesh, Tibet, northern China, Mongolia, southern Siberia, Tuva, Buryat. There's just a lot of areas that are being covered. There's a large time frame that we're also looking at, and then we're looking at the very, very technical study of iconography, which of course is initially text-based, and then we have all kinds of visual representations, be they painting, sculpture, murals, or some ritual objects. So we have these three broad subject categories that we've divided the material into because the material lends itself to these categories according to the way we look at it from Himalayan Art Resources website. Now, with art history is very broad, and there's many different ways that it can be approached depending on the material in different parts of the world. But here what we're doing primarily with art history is we're looking at first of all what the object is. So we have the object itself. The object itself is then divided into a medium, and that would be painting, sculpture, textile, and then we can also have mural, and we can have ritual objects. And with sculpture, of course, you can have metal, you can have wood, you can have clay, you can have repoussé, you can have ivory, all different kinds of stones. And then, so we have the object, and then we have the different medium the objects are found in. Then we have region, and the regions are, as I've named, we're looking at essentially the Himalayan regions, Tibet, northern China, Mongolia. But then we have the complexity of chronology, because we're looking at it over a period of over 1,000 years. And if you look at various regions, and then you look at the time periods, we're then looking at, well, what are the styles? What are the different styles? What's changed? What has been kept? And what continues down through the centuries? So these are really the main topics that we're looking at. Now, it seems like it's a little bit simplistic. Well, no, these are the main topics. Then all of these have subtopics to them, and a great deal of complexity, especially with the sculpture and the painting. The paintings, we have patas, we have palba, we have Tibetan tankas, then we have the Chinese scroll work. We also have all different types, just in terms of subject. We have figurative art, we have didactic art, and we have a narrative for the three main subject categories for paintings. So all of this actually falls under the heading of art history. But don't forget, art history, of course, overlaps with iconography, and it, of course, overlaps with religious context. The point of these three main topics is what direction, what is your main focus on a certain point? Is your main focus going to be coming from an art history point of view? Is your main point coming from a text-based, then a visual iconographic subject analysis? Or are you looking really at religious context? Like, what's the meaning? What is the abstract concepts involved, and how was the object used, and what's the overall meaning within that tradition of Buddhist, Hindu, Yungdrung Bön, or some sort of tribal? What is the meaning? So all of these three main topics of art history, iconography, and religious context, they of course overlap. And what we're doing is we're just looking at dividing up what is the main point, the main departure point, the starting point for the investigation into the artworks. So you can press the like button, you can join Har on Patreon, and you can also make a donation to Himalayan Art Resources right on the website, right on the homepage.